from the neural model of the lost to the undivided field. You reach for your phone to send them a message. The message is already forming, the particular thing they would find funny, the reference they'd get immediately, the shorthand the two of you had built over years. Your thumb is moving before you remember. Then you remember. The message stops in your hand, unsent, unsendable. Your body was already there before your memory caught up with it. The person is gone. And yet you reach for them. In the morning, in the ordinary reflex of morning, the thought that begins to form before you remember, the sentence that begins with their name before the fact interrupts it. The body moves through the kitchen on the old trajectory, the one that included them. Something in the motor cortex still routes around them. That moment of interruption, the reaching and the landing in the empty space, is not a failure of adjustment. It is the most precise demonstration available of what the mind actually is. Here is what grief is made of. When you love someone over time, your brain builds a working model of them, detailed, predictive, continuously updated. The model lives in the default mode network, the same system responsible for your sense of self, for your autobiographical memory, for your capacity to imagine other minds. The model contains their voice, their characteristic expressions, their patterns of response. It anticipates them. It completes their sentences. It knows, before they speak, the shape of what they will say. This is not metaphor. The neural model is functional circuitry, real electrochemical architecture, built over months and years of continuous interaction. When the person is present, the model is activated by them. When the person is absent, temporarily, for a few hours, the model runs in idle, maintaining readiness. And when the person is gone permanently, the model keeps running. The brain built a simulation of the person you loved. The simulation outlived the person. You are grieving a model. The love is real. The model is not them. The grief is the model encountering the absence. Every day, in hundreds of small and large triggers, the model activates a song, a smell, a quality of afternoon light, a phrase someone else uses that they used, and then encounters the fact, the reaching and the landing in the empty space. Over and over, the model does not know how to stop reaching. It was built for presence, not for permanent absence. The reaching is not weakness. It is fidelity. The model is behaving exactly as it was designed to behave. Some losses are told, you will heal, you will adjust. Others will fill the space, and there is truth in this. The nervous system does reorient, does build new attachments, does find new routines. But this does not reach the specific grief, because the specific grief is not about the category of relationship. It is about the particular person, the particular model, the irreducible specificity of this voice, this presence, this exact pattern of being in the world. No other person activates the same circuits. No amount of time reverses the architecture. The model persists even when the person does not. Even when conscious thought has accepted the fact, the body continues to route along paths that included them. You know the difference between the grief that is fading and the grief that is fundamental. The fading kind is the adjustment. The fundamental kind is the model encountering what it was built for and finding the space where that thing was. There is the grief of the loss, and there is the grief of the ordinary moments, the Tuesday afternoon, the specific quality of a Tuesday afternoon in winter that they would have experienced differently than you experienced it. And now that difference is gone, and you are acquainted experiencing the Tuesday alone in a way that the Tuesday itself has no language for. This is the grief that surprises, not the large ceremonial grief, but the grief of the unremarkable moment that has become, without warning, indelibly marked. And there is the grief that goes beyond the person, the grief at the love itself. The capacity for that quality of connection seems to recede with them, as if the love was located in them rather than in you, as if they were keeping it somewhere. You didn't just lose them. You lost the version of yourself that only existed in relation to them. Two people died. Three layers. The model, the specific, the love itself apparently departing. The love will not follow the model into the grave. Because the love was never inside the model. This is the thing grief cannot see from inside. The grief the Chandogya Upanishad, in the most repeated teaching in the entire Upanishadic tradition, Tvam, that thou art. The instruction is not abstract, it is topological. Uddalaka Aruni teaches his son that reality, the fundamental ground of everything, is what you are, not what you have, not what you experience, not what you build neural models of. What you are. Now apply this where it matters. The person who was lost, what were they? Not the body. The body was a temporary configuration of matter. Not the personality. The personality was a pattern of chemistry and history, not the model you built of them. That model was your construction of them. What they were at the most fundamental level is what the Chandogya points at in every teaching, the awareness that was looking out through that particular body, through that particular personality, from that particular position in space and time. And what are you? The same. The awareness looking out through this particular body, from this position, watching the grief, receiving the reaching and the empty space present for the Tuesday afternoon. Tat TV Amazi points at this. The awareness that was in them and the awareness that is in you are not two different things separated by a gap. They are the same awareness expressed through different particular forms. The form is gone. The awareness is not gone. Awareness does not go. This is not consolation. Consolation says, something nice will replace what was lost. This says something more precise and more disturbing. The love you had for them was the awareness recognizing itself in another form of itself. The love was real, profoundly real, irreducibly real, precisely because it was awareness knowing awareness across the apparent gap of two separate persons. The neural model will keep reaching. The Tuesday afternoons will keep arriving in their particular emptiness. The grief is legitimate, not a mistake, not something to be corrected, not a sign that you have failed to accept. It is the model being faithful to what it was built for. And simultaneously, the one who watches the model reach, who receives the Tuesday afternoon in its particular quality, who holds the grief and the love and the reaching and the empty space, that one is not diminished by what was lost, cannot be. Because what you are at the fundamental level is the same awareness that was in them. You have not lost that. You cannot lose that. It was never in them to be lost when they left. The reaching will come. Let it. The Tuesday afternoon will arrive. Receive it. And know at the same time what receives it. Not broken. Not missing what it fundamentally is. The love is not gone. It has returned to what it always was, Awareness aware of itself, no longer needing a particular form to know its own nature. Tat TV Amazi. That thou art. This